Yes, Tucker Carlson. He's been in the headlines. I know back in the headlines. He's been in the headlines. Tucker wanted to be a kingmaker. Actually thought he was already. He sought to broker House Speaker selection. This guy's a piece of work. Former Fox News producer Abby Grossberg telling Anderson Cooper that Tucker Carlson sought to broker the Republican speakership selection. Here's the video.
I mean, they believed that he could broker who was Speaker, House Speaker. He wanted to do that live on air, but Kevin McCarthy said no.
What do you mean he wanted to do that live on air?
His plan was to have Kevin McCarthy come on the show, according to Justin Wells revealed this grand plan to us. Tucker, a few days earlier, had sort of set some terms for McCarthy, which included this church kind of committee that he said about, I think this was about January 5th, so about January 2nd, he said, you should have this church committee. So fast forward to January 5th, they start asking me to book McCarthy on the show that night. I had worked with him a lot when I was at Sunday Morning Futures and had a relationship with his team. That afternoon, Justin came in and he said, here's the plan. Tucker's going to first have Kevin on, hear him beg and grovel. Then we'll bring in Matt Gaetz, and Matt Gaetz will then kind of set his terms. Then Tucker will set his terms that McCarthy has to agree to.
Tucker Carlson had terms that McCarthy
had terms. Wow. And we're going to make this whole thing happen on air and save the Republican Party. Now, fortunately, for McCarthy's sake, he said no.
Wow. He actually had some dignity. It's a question mark, some dignity. Kevin McCarthy. Grossberg's been talking a lot and saying some very interesting, dark things. She also commented on the offensive work atmosphere on the set of Tucker Carlson Tonight.
When you heard that Tucker Carlson got fired, did you feel vindicated in a way?
In a way I did at first. It was a shock. So there's obviously a lot to process.
You didn't expect that they would do that?
Oh, no. I didn't believe people when they told me.
Because he had so much power at the network.
I thought he was invincible. I thought his team was invincible, and they believed they were too, by the way that they behaved.
You say in two of your lawsuits, you say that you endured a work environment that subjugates women based on vile sexist stereotypes, typecasts religious minorities, belittles their traditions, and demonstrates little to no regard for those suffering from mental illness. In another lawsuit, you say Mr. Carlson's derogatory comments toward women and his disdain for those who dare to object to such misogyny is well known on the set of Tucker Carlson Tonight. His attitude, what you say are his attitudes, that permeated the culture at his show.
Of course, and I think the best example of that was when I ultimately, and I'm jumping ahead, did stand up and complain to one of my supervisors. His answer to me was, Tucker sets the tone for the show, and we follow Tucker's tone.
Wow.
And that summarizes everything.
So people got a message from Tucker Carlson that it was okay to use the C word or whatever it was, and they felt emboldened to do that too.
I think that they took pride and joy in doing it. They thought it was fun. It was just really kind of a bro fest there.
Sounds like a wonderful place to work. If you're a frat boy and you are gross and into that kind of thing. Some recent leaks of Tucker on set shows examples of this kind of behavior. Let's look at that.
If we're going to talk about sex, I'd love to hit some of the fine points of technique. But it's your show. It's totally up to you.
We can certainly talk about your sexual technique, especially after your tanning testicles last week.
You wouldn't? Okay. I'm not, you know what? I'm not qualified on that score, I will say. I thought his girlfriend was kind of yummy. Just kidding, in case this is being pulled off the bird. Yeah, the bird. Hey, media matters for America. Go yourself. That's the first thing I want to say tonight. Second thing is, totally kidding. I don't even know what his girlfriend looks like. And if I did, I would not find her yummy. Well, I feel great. You know, I can never assess my appearance. I wait for my postmenopausal fans to weigh in on that.
So, Ben, I don't know how old you are, it doesn't matter, but surely at some point you've taken someone under your wing, someone who's perhaps immature or saying dumb things in front of people, women, whatever, being disrespectful. And you had to pull them aside and say, might want to cool it. What do you do with a guy like this in a work environment?
I mean, I have to do it with you before every show, Sharon. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I'll be mostly.
Look, being a stand-up comedian, I try to give some leeway for people making inappropriate or silly jokes. So, like, for example, in those clips, the first one where he says, I wouldn't mind discussing the finer points of sexual technique. Nothing wrong with that, because there's nothing misogynist about that one. But then the next clip, talking about how he's creeping on someone's girlfriend, that's where you get into inappropriate territory. When you start talking about how you think that you as a man are better than women is when you get into inappropriate territory, and it's not okay. And that shouldn't be the work environment at any place, despite and I also think as a side note, as a culture, we got to figure out a better way to refer to the inappropriate words as the C word or the N word, because you sound like a child when you have to say the blank letter word. It sounds stupid. Point not germane to the issue. But of course, you don't want to work in an environment where somebody is making you beholden to misogynistic jokes that make you feel marginalized as a group, whether that's a woman or whatever. But I also feel 0% bad for Grossman or for any booker who worked at that show, because I'm so sick of people only being outraged when things affect them personally. Her stance there basically is, I was totally fine helping book and work on a show that marginalized women and minorities and the LGBTQ community every day publicly, as long as behind the scenes they didn't say, hey, toots to me. But as soon as they make me feel marginalized, I'm filing lawsuits. How about file a lawsuit on behalf of humanity? How about quit your job on behalf of humanity, or don't accept it in the first place when somebody is a piece of garbage and that's what they spew every day? It shouldn't just matter what's said behind the scenes. It should matter whether you're poisoning the discourse in the country and creating millions more racists, misogynists, and bigoted, hate-filled idiots. That's what should matter more than your own personal thing affecting a staff of maybe 100 people behind the scenes.
And now that excellent. Now that she's making the rounds and looking, pitiful, I'm going through something here. I too blame the platforms that don't ask her any of those tough questions. They don't say anything to her like you just did. Not a peep. Not
True.
a peep.